All right, well, welcome back, ladies. We are in week 2 of the devotional, week 3 of Mom to Mom, and we are glad are all here. So today we are going to be talking about a character in the Bible, Sarah. She is one who faced joy, but then also the vulnerability side of being joyful in the moments and not always being able to find that joy.
Yeah, like when going through Sarah's story, it's like literally holding a mirror up and like it's like I'm seeing Sarah in my life. Like, is it really going to happen? Is it really going to be good? Like, can I really trust that you're going to provide like you say you are?
Right.
Like, I know for me, like, we weren't going to be able to have kids. And that was the only thing I ever wanted.
Mhm.
And I knew at 18, God was like, you're going to be a mom. And then I'm told I'm not able to. And it's like, I'm sorry.
How does that work?
Your conversation at 18 and now 23 is like totally different.
And like I feel that because at 27, I'm told, hey, you're probably not going to have kids. And as a young child, that's every girl's dream is to be a mom at some point. And so I was always, I'm going to have kids. I'll have 6 of them, this huge family. And then just hit with that truth. And then we looked at adoption.
Okay.
And we were starting the process end of 22, early 23. And we were joyful, so excited, like, all right, we can't grow our family biologically, but that's because maybe that's not God's plan for us, period. That's our human plan.
Yeah.
So we're ready to do it. We're starting the home study paperwork, and we are hit with an awful experience with my mom. She had a shunt put in back in 2012. We had already had a setback a few years later, and then this one hit. And it took everything in us to work through that. And joy was completely gone because it was day by day. Is mom ever going to wake up and be mom again? Is mom going to wake up, period? Or is God calling her home and it's just taking a little bit of time and all of that? And like, I tried to find God in that. And my best friend was constantly saying, Steph, it's going to be okay. Like, God's gotten us through the stuff with mom before. And I could feel it. Like, there was this sense that like, no, this isn't mom's time. It's going to work out. But how, when? And then when I got to the hospital the one day and she was clear, she was there, and I was like, all right, God, I really need to stop not trusting you. And just knowing that even in these hard times, you're always there. And slowly things got better and slowly the joy came back. But in that moment, it was like, okay, are we not supposed to be adopting? Like, are we not growing our family this way? God, what are you telling us? And like for Sarah, she's like, hey, I'm going to be a mom. Here's this promise that this is happening
like
for you.
She literally heard it. Like God told her.
Exactly. And then it's like, when is it happening? Because the biological clock is ticking.
Yeah.
And for me, it was, okay, the clock's ticking, but not really. But why were we put on hold? And I can say I know exactly why we were put on hold. Exactly why. Had that not happened and then another very tragic incident in our lives happened, it's possible that we would have maybe matched at a different time and God had the perfect baby handpicked for us, just like with Sarah. Yeah. He handpicked the right baby to put in her womb at the right time, and therefore everything worked out the way it was supposed to for him.
Exactly.
Not for Sarah, not for me, but for him.
Yeah. And I think you said it, you hit on the head when you said when's this timeline? When is it going to happen? And so many times we're focused on the timeline and we're not focused on like the actual event that you're happening. When I think our attitude towards that timeline too is super important when you're going through it. Like I think of Hannah, like we're not going to actually talk about Hannah in these series, but like the fact that she wanted, I think of Samuel, right? Like she wanted a baby so bad. And she was like, all right, God, I'm trusting you. Like, I feel like we need to have Hannah's mindset sometimes when we're doing this because she was like, I trust you. And it wasn't like she was like, all right, I know you're going to work. I'm just going to sit here. No, she instantly,
to work.
Yeah, she went to work. She went to worship. I know this isn't part of our script, but I just feel like God's like saying to somebody like, if you say you want something and you know that I'm going to give it to you, like, are you just going to sit there and wait? Or are you going to still do the work that I have for you? And
yes.
But how we respond in those moments of waiting and like the tragedy of things and all that stuff, not only determines how you respond and how your family responds, but it's an example for everybody around. Like, I
Mhm.
know when I lost my brother, like last year, it was the question my mom asked me was, "How do you, how are you okay right now?" And for me, it was because I told her, I said, it's Jesus. So
No.
now trying to help other people understand, like, this isn't the way to live.
Mhm.
Let's shift it a little bit. But like, if I've never gone through that, then I can't help somebody else that's going through it.
Exactly.
So I think it's important going back on that timeline and how you respond in that timeline
Mhm.
and how you react and worship through that
Yes, and
that waiting.
think with all that too, always, period, we have to have a little bit of sense of vulnerability
Mm,
to be open to it,
mhm.
to the joy, to the sadness, to the hurt, because it makes us stronger.
Yeah. Vulnerability sucks.
So, yeah, it does. And as someone who has
Mm,
had troubles throughout life, just with my mom's health and my dad's health, my own health, and different things like that at times, it does because you are opening up
mhm,
to really whatever God wants. And I think I'm slightly fighting that right now,
mhm.
with what's next, like what's the plan.
Yeah.
Um, and I say fighting that because I constantly ask what's next, what's next, what's next, and I'm not being quiet enough to
Mm,
listen. So I need to probably be a little bit more vulnerable in that area.
yeah. So when we look at Sarah's story, I feel like there's kind of like a fork in the road
Hmm.
where she knows what's coming. So she can choose to trust God and be vulnerable and know that, like, all right, God, you got me. Or she can turn it and start to wrestle and question why, and why now, why me,
Hmm.
why do I have to wait? And I feel like so many times we do that as women, like that control part of it.
Right. And I mean, it doesn't have to be that dramatic of control. Like, we can just say, like, okay, well, I know this was promised to me, but if I do this, it'll still get me to my promise. But is this what we're supposed to do? Or, like always, are we to stay on that straight path leading towards him? And so, as we talk about like the control with Eve last week, it's different because this week's control is showing up as pessimism and
Mm,
cynicism. Like, do I fully trust that like that's going to happen? And so the definition of pessimism is holding a lack of hope or confidence in the future. So, okay, I've been promised this, but is that really what's going to happen?
mhm.
And what's going to happen here, here, and here before I get there?
Or like, is he really gonna, like, or was he gonna change his mind when it's time?
Right.
Yeah,
Like, oh, wait, no, just kidding.
yeah.
No,
Like,
that's not how God
this can't be
works.
good. Like,
Hmm.
mm,
Yeah. And then cynicism is doubting other people's motives, including God's. But yeah, I mean, just showing that, like, hey, here's this promise. Oh, wait, no, just kidding. God never just kids.
yeah,
He might promise us something and there might be blips in the road, but those blips are always making us stronger for the promise that He did give us
mhm,
ultimately. We were both promised to be moms. We both got there different ways,
mhm.
but His promise held true. Just like for Sarah, His promise held true.
So how do we shift? Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a very cynical, pessimistic person.
Alex will say the same thing about me. So, yeah.
And it's very hard for me to trust the actions of other people,
Mm.
to trust that it's going to work out. So, looking at, Sarah's story, how do we encourage, these women to help shift their focus, their mindset on what we need to be doing or how we need to be thinking?
I think really it is a day to day focus.
Mm,
We need to quit, and this is something I'm trying to learn in my own personal life. We need to quit looking at tomorrow, next week, a month from now. Look at today. Look at the
mhm,
joy you have in today. So just yesterday, I mean, Wrigley, our little boy, and I, we spent the day together and we played. And yeah, I did like household chores, but at the end of the day, I felt so much joy and love and just more fulfilled because I spent the day focusing on him while doing projects here and there
mhm,
than the days where I'm like, no, we have to do this, this, and this. And I do that while he follows me around and helps me or plays by himself. Where
mhm,
Instead, I was taking the moments and was playing with him. And then I say, hey, while you do this, I'm going to go like wash those couple dishes.
Yeah.
And then I'd go play with him again. So I think it's because we live in such a fast paced society. And that was in my devotional this morning about being still in God. Just live in the moment.
Yeah.
Find the joy in today.
Mm-hmm.
Find the joy in the promise that you know God's bringing you, and focus on that promise and not how you're going to get there, but the promise and searching out his word.
Ladies, you kind of got a little piece of our heart today. I love these moments where we can just kind of be real and authentic with you. So we are praying for this next minute of you guys being able to have some small group time. Get real. Know that you're in a safe place and that you can have real, authentic conversation and be vulnerable with each other. So we love you. We'll see you on the other side.